Hey, good morning, boys.
Good morning.
What's good, fellas?
What is good? Let's see, your birthday,
It's not
Lucy's
my
birthday, Hanukkah.
It is her birthday. Shit,
Oh, that was
her
yesterday.
birthday yesterday. Yeah. How is she? How old is she? 15?
15.
Damn.
Yeah, 15.
Damn,
Yep.
man.
Crazy, right?
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
God,
the funny thing is, I kept thinking she was going to be 16 because, like, well in advance of turning 15, they start saying they're that age. And then I start saying they're that age.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, man, like, going to be 16. And then I realized, no.
Why does she say she's that age? Why does she say she's 16?
No, she doesn't.
Oh.
But, like, probably back in, like, August or so when it's, hey, I want to go do this. And then you're like, no, well, why can't I? I'm 15. And it's like,
yeah.
Claiming it just a little bit early. And then
so
I start thinking it. Yeah. But no, lots going on, man. Glad to be here with you.
Yeah. So how is, like, before NFT stuff, how's the week? Like, what's going on?
Just a busy week, like work and NFTs and holidays and stuff. So just like an all in all, like really busy week this week.
Did you get time to degen and do NFT stuff?
Yeah, I did something. I bought something this week. I got to remember what it was. I bought a trademark.
Oh, good shit. Dude,
yeah.
Real nice.
Yep. I sold some meme land or some meme and put it into a trademark.
Oh, you're going to be in good company there. Actually, I'm going to touch on trademark in a little bit, but yeah, really, really solid play, I think. I mean,
just a vault item, I think, right?
Yeah, dude.
Like stick
a lot
it
of
in
people
there.
think that's his Chromie Squiggle. Like the Snowfro Chromie Squiggle. That seems like it could be his version of that.
Yeah. Can't wait to like dive into it a little bit.
Yeah. How, Katz, how about you, man? How's your week?
Good. Just been super busy at work. which, I can't complain about anymore. But getting to work from home is different being super busy. But yeah, it's good stuff. Just as I've gotten into my new job, they're figuring out I have a pretty good skill set, and they're like, "Oh, you can do this too, and this too," and I'm like, "Okay, I don't need every project." So, um, but yeah, it's good, man. It's good.
That's cool. Can I tell you guys about something I did this week? We're all friends here.
Yeah, tell us.
Oh yeah.
My dirty secrets are safe with you. Shameful secrets. All right, so I've been starting to play with VR again. Like every so often, it's like every 6 months, maybe every year, I get the itch to just go like full throttle into VR. And like Henry, you know this because like I've always been a computer guy and hanging out in like AOL chat rooms and stuff, right? So I find like the VR equivalent of that, and it's this app called VR Chat. So I've been hanging out in there, but it's basically like Tinder for furries. It's it's something, man.
Is
It's
that
like,
why you made that comment this week about who wants to? You made a comment like who wants to hang out with furries and do something, and I was like, that's a bizarre comment. But,
yeah, it kind of seemed out of nowhere. It's exactly that. Yeah, because so I go in this again VR Chat or VR Land. I just go in there to like it's just there's cool avatars. There's like a lot of cool stuff there. I don't even chat. I'm so creepy. I go up to people and I just point at them. So I just sit there and I'm like this little weird looking ET dude, like this little looking like tumor guy. And I just go to people and I point at them until they get creeped out by it. And like, that's my shtick. But it's full of furries. So it's people in like avatars that look like furry costumes. And I looked it up. I'm like, what, like, is that what the app is for? And they're like, no, it just makes sense. Like those costumes are so expensive that it's just easier for them. So they actually, I mean, it's funny. They go spend a lot of money. They actually buy like full body tracking VR. So they'll buy the VR headset, but they buy all the cameras that tracks like everything they do. So you'll go in these like bars or you'll go on a rooftop or whatever environment set up. And there's these like furries. They're dressed as like dogs and wolves and whatever. And they'll be like sitting in a corner, like snuggling. Like they're not doing anything crazy, but they just snuggle and they'll like pet each other's hair. And they just hang out and like they'll purr and stuff. It's fucking weird.
Dude, it's so weird. But maybe it's not. I mean, it is weird to me, but maybe it's not to them. Were you in a furries spaces this week?
No, if there was one, I would have been.
No, somehow like, no, I don't know if you made a comment, but there was something like when you go in there, it doesn't post anything to say like who does in a VR chat with furries or something like that. There's nothing like that happens.
It shouldn't. I don't think it does because there's nothing of that that's linked anywhere. But no, okay, you saying it reminds me like maybe there was a chat, like an actual spaces named something like. There could have been. There absolutely could have been.
I'm just thinking like when you said that, I'm like, oh, I saw something with you in VR chat. That's even though you didn't tell me anything about that this week. Somehow, like I saw something that had your name with VR chat with it.
Interesting. Well,
now I gotta look. I gotta
maybe
think
it's
of where
Discord. It could be like Discord will show your status if you're in a game.
Maybe that's what it was.
It could be that. It could, and I don't know if it would say furry. It might say VR chat because none of the things I'm going in are labeled furry.
It wasn't furry. It was specifically like VR chat.
Okay, I'm gonna try that later.
Okay, so before you go crazy into NFTs, can we talk about the Discord mobile update and thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm dying to know why people hate it because I like it. So yeah, let's get right into that. So Discord mobile update. I don't even know when it hit, but I saw you talking about it and you hate it, and I saw other people say they hate it. What's your beef with it?
I think it was Wednesday or Thursday it hit. All of a sudden, like Discord updated. The thing is, I didn't even manually update it. It's like I went in and all of a sudden it was updated, and it starts walking you through the new UI. The part that I don't like about it is, okay, what I like about it is that you can swipe to reply. What I dislike about it is you used to be able to see your DMs pop up on the left scroll bar, like where your servers were. So if you're in a server, you're chatting, and keep in mind, I'm like 90% on mobile for Discord. So if you're in any of your DMs or group chats pop up on the left side, where now you have to go to the bottom and look to see if you have a notification for DMs. So I'm just not used to that. And maybe it's something I'll just get used to, but it's like, I completely forget because I'm so used to it appearing at the top of the server icons that it just looks like I'm not getting a DM, when in fact you might have like 40 of them down in your.
It doesn't give you alerts
messages
at all.
If you go down to the bottom bar, I don't know, the bottom icons where you have your servers, messages, notifications, you have to just look to see if you have a notification down there versus it popping up at the top of the servers.
And
you know,
then
normally it would pop up.
Well, what about on your phone notifications? Is that turned off, or do you get a notification that you get a DM like through your operating system?
No, I feel like if I had that on, it would be horrific.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I'm trying to picture it because I never look, especially at DMs, but I don't use mobile that much. But now I think I see it. Yeah, because they would pop up as an icon that looks like a channel kind of, but it'll.
Yeah, exactly. But then you're like, yeah, go ahead.
Mine hasn't even updated yet. I don't.
Oh, do it.
I don't like that at all because I'm 100% mobile. I never get on Discord on the PC. So like for me, yeah, that the DM is a big deal.
That, and if you want to go over, I'll just use the Kong server as an example. If you want to go over all the way to the right to look at the bots, you know, like what's the floor, what's gas, anything like that.
Right.
You now have to, it said before, it just used to be like you could scroll over to the right, I think is how it was, or it's just automatically there. Now you have to click on the server channel at the very top in order to go all the way to the right where you would see the list of everybody that's in the server. But then to go back, you can't just swipe to the left. You have to go to the top of the screen, and you have to go towards the top of the screen, swipe to the left, and then it brings up like another button that you press to go back into like the chat side of the room. So if you want to scroll from the main chat, which is now full screen, over to the left side where you would see your server icons, you can swipe to do that. But you can't swipe to go over to the right side where you would view like the bots that are in the channel or the server or the list of people in the server. It's really annoying. So those are the two reasons why I dislike it. There are some things about it that are okay, but like for me, those were two major updates that I did not like.
I haven't heard anybody other than me say they like it. Like universally, people hate it. English is in the chat here. Good morning, English. But he hates it too. Yeah, everybody hates it. We'll see. Maybe,
yeah.
Well, that sounds good. Kind of but you just said you use PC mostly, right?
Mostly, but when I switch to it, I actually prefer it because I avoid DMs.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't ever do anything in DMs, so I found it actually easier to navigate like channel stuff.
Okay, if you don't use DMs, then I could see liking it. The full screen chat is nice, and the swipe to reply is nice. But overall, like if you're primarily mobile, which it sounds like Katz and I are probably on the same page with that, it sucks.
I just tried to swipe to reply now. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, swipe to reply is nice, but try to go over in like Idiot server or Kongs if you want to go over to the right to view who's in the server.
See who's in the server. Got it. Okay.
And like you can't just swipe to go over to that side to see. You have to go to the top and click on you have to click on the channel that you're in the server, like at the very top, and that will take you over to the right scroll bar.
Oh, I see.
But then to go back, you can't just swipe to the left unless I'm on Android. So if you want to go back to the main chat, you can't just swipe back over to go there.
Okay, let me try here.
It's like you have to like swipe towards the top, and then it brings up a little like blue arrow. Also, maybe I'm just stupid and there's an easier way to do it.
Well, I just got to the list of people in the Discord.
Yeah.
Now I can't figure out how to get back there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now you have to go towards the top, like let's say 1/4 of the screen, and swipe back over towards the main chat, like swipe to the left. I guess technically is that, yeah, you're swiping to the left, and it'll bring up like a little blue arrow to click back in.
Yeah, I'm missing something here.
And and the thing is, it takes me like multiple times to do it. It's not like, oh, I just do that, then I'm back in. I'm like, where do I have to press on this top section of of the channel in order to go back over to the chat. Sometimes it'll let me hit the back button and it'll go back to the chat, but sometimes it doesn't.
So like, okay, so like I'm stuck at just getting to the chat list. So I'm in the idiots server.
Yeah, and now you can't go back.
Well, no, I can go back. So I'm like at the chat. I can see the list of channels. I was here before and I got to the list of people in the server, and that wasn't hard, but now I can't seem to find how I even did that.
Yeah,
but when
you
I
have
was
to
there,
go to the top.
The top where though?
Yeah, like go to like what channel are you in Idiots?
Let's just say general.
Okay, click on general at the top. Like that should be at the top of your mobile, right? Like the channel names at the very top.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. No, that's easy. Now for me, I can hit back and it takes me back to.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder, Cats, are you using iPhone?
No, I'm an Android user.
Does it let you go click back and it goes back, or do you have to like
Dude,
swipe?
mine is still the old Discord. Mine is not updated.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know why. I'm okay with it though. It sounds like
English.
Yeah,
that's what I was just trying to figure out. So like you click on the channel, like so you go to your server, you click on a channel, then at the top of that channel where it has like the hashtag and the channel name, you just click that, and that brings you to the list of users who are online. And then for me, I can just swipe left to go back. There's
you
a
can
huge
swipe
lag.
left.
And when I do that, it's like 5 seconds before it goes back.
Okay,
So
maybe that's
like
what
it's not
it is.
doing something.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's like it. I keep pressing it, thinking it's going back, and it's not.
Andrew,
so yours just lags.
Yeah, it's slow. It's weird. Like in general, I'm with Andrew where I don't like Discord and I don't like the fact that NFTs live there, but like you have to because NFTs live there. But
what do you not like about it? Like overall for like having a community, it's like I've heard the argument, but I'm like the functionalities of it to be able to token gate, run raffles, hold Discord stages, stream. Seems like it brings in a lot of functions that are useful for a community.
Yeah, okay, so maybe I've changed my mind a little on it. I hated it when there was so much more scammy stuff going on in Discord, and it's not quite the same anymore. So that was my biggest reason for hating it, is just how weak the security was on it. I prefer that's all on the official site. Like if you got a live chat, a live video, raffles, everything done on the official site. That way you know everything's a little more kosher. But again, with security being stepped up there, I think that's less of an issue. Yeah, maybe I don't hate it the way I did.
Okay,
hey, our boy Moisty's here. Good shit. Good morning.
Honestly, man, like I wouldn't have been capable of learning as much as I've learned in this space without Discord. I mean, you think back over the past couple of years and what we've done in Idiots. I mean, there's been so many times I've gotten on with Miracle, or we've all gotten on during a mint or whatever, and like live stream during that. Because I mean, you can't stream in spaces. You know, like having the ability for people to walk you through a stream, like on a live stream, like walk you through things, has been pretty amazing. So I've been a big fan of Discord.
And it's
for
easy.
NFT purposes.
Like you don't need to like I remember when like I was getting walkthrough ordinals, like how to set up the wallet. I think you in English. I think a bunch of us were in VC.
Yeah, there was a big group of us.
Yeah, you don't have to like, hey guys, I'm gonna drop a Google Meet, and then everyone's got to click the Google Meet. You're just like click a button, and everyone's in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of nice.
What do you guys say we do a little market talk and dive into some NFT stuff? Crazy fucking week this week, guys. Like, holy cow. And last point on Discord. Edge is here. Good morning, Edge. That said he wouldn't be here without Discord, and he's right. It's kind of like what you guys were just saying. It's where we all cut our teeth. It's where we learned everything. So yeah, okay. I changed my mind like live here on the spot. Discord's great. I fucking love Discord.
Fucking love Discord, man.
Love it. Good morning, Moisty. You flying high yet?
No, not yet. But
okay,
you know, the day will come to me.
Did you go 100 mg deep?
Yeah, I bought a little package that had 5 pieces of candy at 100 milligrams each, and it's Saturday morning, so start the day off right.
That's how you do it, I guess. You saw that picture of my eye that time, right?
I did, yeah.
Fucking wild. Henry, you've seen that, I think, too, right?
Yeah, what happened, though? Was that after an edible?
Yeah, I ate an edible and, like, had some crazy reaction to it. Like, literally went blind for a week. Like, Crazy. Like the most pain I've ever been in my life too. Like just so painful. I can't even describe it. Like went to a walk-in, or it might have been the hospital. Like in the morning, I tried to like sleep it off, but I like couldn't sleep, couldn't see. They had no idea what it was. They asked if I got chemicals in my eye or something. It was really bad.
Well,
Oh God.
yeah, I have a feel. Yeah, I think there's some effects from some of that stuff. Like even the restless legs that I had for a while. I wonder if that was
Oh, a little
part
something
of
to
it.
do with that. Huh.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be.
Cats would know. We have a doctor with us, so Dr. Katz.
Dr. Katz.
Dr.
the
Katz.
Yeah, I
diagnosis,
mean,
Doc?
you never know what reactions you're going to get with, let's say, unregulated things.
Yeah, I think
Not that I'm for regulation, but
fair point. All right, guys, market. Starting the day, I guess how we've started it almost every day, probably the past 2 months since we had our October turnaround. But the forecast 500 NFT index, we're looking at the value of the NFT market yet again up in the green, 3.35%, which is a really, really solid number for an increase in value. And I like to, I don't usually go back and look at the 7-day, 30-day, whatever, but it just really, like at this point, it shows how much we really have grown and how much value has really come back. So in the past 7 days, we're up over 13%. The past month, though, up 33%. Again, if you think about that, regaining that much value that's been lost over the past few months, that value really had been lost since that Elementals mint, right? Back end of June, I think it was. We've recovered everything since then, I think. So really great sign to show the market turnaround is it's not a short-term thing, a very, very real thing that we're witnessing here. And I think we all probably agree it's the start of a bull market. I think. You guys agree?
I agree. Yeah, it
Like a
feels like
legit bull market.
that tingly feeling we've had. Well, stocks are up. I think people's inflation fears are down, even if it's temporary. And I think we're seeing all the effects of that pour into crypto right now. Like you're only buying crypto if you're feeling decent about the money that you have in your bank account, right? Like if you're coming in, you're not doing it. I mean, hopefully you're not doing it with the last $1,000 you have to your name. You got a little bit of extra money and you want to throw it into something like highly speculative. And yeah, so I think we're starting to see. I think we're at the very beginning of a bull. That's my thought.
Yeah, it's interesting having gone through a few cycles now. You know what the top feels like. It's those couple week periods where everything is. When we had those mints that would go to 2, 3, 5 ETH overnight. That's where that top feels like, and those can last for a while too. That can last for weeks, but I think we're well prepared now to know we're nowhere close to that yet. We are at the very, very beginning. It can take a month, or I should say months. It could take even a year plus to get to that point. But it does definitely feel like we're heading in that direction. I'm looking here now at a breakdown at the blockchain level, still the forecast 500, but also the ETH composite, the Solana composite. Solana, guys, has been absolutely wrecking. All the ETH guys I know, I'll say most ETH guys I know, are starting to go and shop over on Solana, rightfully so, because there's a lot of gains over there. Polygon is the lone blockchain that in the past 30 days is down, again, with the value. I'm going to mention in a little bit why they're down. And I guess it's a topic we should get into a little more. Has to do with new mints, right? We're not really seeing new mints come on Ethereum and Solana. They're here and there. There have been some, but we're not in new mint season yet. What I think is interesting with Polygon is they did have a big new mint in the past 30 days, and I feel like that sucks whatever liquidity they have there out of like other NFT collections. That's why I think we see them down a little bit. It's just like one of those guesstimates or guesses on my part, but. New mints, when we do get new mints on Solana, on Ethereum, I do think we'll see the value start decreasing on these indexes. Again, just because simply this measures the value of established projects. Usually people sell those established projects to buy the new mints. So we just haven't seen that yet. This morning,
can I ask a stupid question?
Yeah,
Well,
I like those.
while you were talking about Polygon, so is that all being traded in Matic?
No, that's ETH. No, let me think here. That's a really good question.
It should be ETH.
Value. I got to think about that. No, because I have wondered that too, because that might be priced. The conversion might be being done in the price of Matic. It might be. I don't remember for sure, but I do think we use the native token. Even if those sales are in ETH, I don't know. Well, no, okay, no. It's a mix. It's a mix, because what we ultimately do, we measure the US dollar value of the sales. If the sale is in Matic or if the sale is in ETH, it's the US dollar value that we're counting for this.
Okay. All right, just curious.
But okay, but that's a good point though. If Matic is actually down and there's some substantial sales in Matic on that blockchain, that does pull it down, or could in theory.
I don't think there's substantial sales on Polygon. Period. Right.
In general, no. And if you mean like with Matic specifically, or just in general sales,
just like in general,
there's not.
Like, there's nothing.
Like, and this highlights it right here. I want to zoom in a little bit here. Top collection rankings, though, in the past 24 hours. First off, there's 5 Solana collections in the top 10. There is no Ethereum collections even in the top 5. And when I first looked this morning, there were no Ethereum collections in the top 10 at all. Actually, let me check. Are there any there right now? There's not. There's no Ethereum collection. Oh, Bored Apes are there right now. But for a period this morning, no ETH collections in the top 10. It was half Solana. It was a bunch of Bitcoin. Man, things are changing. Now, also yesterday, we saw Solana flip Ethereum in daily NFT sales. Right now, they're still sitting above Ethereum, and so is Bitcoin. So Solana's at number 1 with 17 mil. Bitcoin is right behind him at 14. Ethereum is at 3 with 12 mil. That's not the first time Solana has flipped Ethereum. That happened probably twice before. This feels different, right? This feels very, very different with how many people are interested in Solana. Yeah, here was yesterday. Here was yesterday when that flippening actually happened. Again, I do think it's a milestone moment. I was expecting this to happen too. I maybe wasn't expecting it to happen so soon, but man, you got collections like Mad Lads shooting up to, at one point, like nearly a 250 soul floor. I don't know what they're at today. I may check that shortly, but over a 200 soul floor. So they're competing with the Ethereum big boys at this point. And the Tensorians too are starting to really rip. So you got some more premium collections on Solana, and there was a void after, D-Gods and Utes left. They had none at that point, and now they do. General thoughts there. Then I have a very specific question for you guys. I actually am excited to get to it. What do you guys think of Solana, its sustainability, and what it means for the market right now that it has flipped Ethereum, at least for now?
I personally don't think it's something that is going to hold on the long term. I think we'll see. Like I in no way expect Solana to start becoming, I guess, the main net for NFTs, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. And
I think degens are going to degen, and so like they'll go where the flips are, but I think ultimately, I think they'll have their couple of collections or handful of collections that are like their mainstays, their flagship IP. But I guess personally, I agree with Moisty. I think at the end of the day, mainnet is probably still going to be king. As far as the OG collections that keep value, but they could certainly be a player that has a seat at the table where there's good volume and there's still gains to be made. That I can see. I just don't know if we'll see as many collections that rise to the level of let's say apes, mutants, Zuki, punks, things like that, where they're like multiple ETH in value across like many collections.
Yeah, I think that is probably true. I don't know if we'll see anything that gets that high, maybe even on the Ethereum side too. But I do wonder if you have Ethereum people who are now testing the waters over there. They're a little more comfortable buying, and we still haven't seen the new mint frenzy yet. We know when that new mint frenzy comes that the gas wars and just the gas you're paying in general sucks. It sucks how much money you spend on gas. And now if you are comfortable trading in an ecosystem where gas is a non-factor, that actually does have me thinking that when the new mint season does arrive, that Solana may just blow Ethereum out of the water, like entirely. That's the scenario that it wouldn't shock me, and I kind of think that's going to happen. especially now with the evidence here, like right with Solana flipping Ethereum in the short term, but with Bitcoin flipping it too. Traders are going where there's profit, so they don't really care about the chain. They care about where there's profit. So if Solana stays profitable and that low gas is just that extra, that cherry on top, I really do think the next season, the next mega bull run that we're, I think, starting now, I think it could be all Solana. I really do. And ultimately, I think this proves that Ethereum may not be top dog in the long run. I've always thought that, but that it's the layer twos on Ethereum that need to really step up and probably will step up. The Arbitrums, Immutable X, Polygon, Avalanche, all of those. But
So
that's,
may I?
yeah, please, yeah.
This is the second time you gentlemen have said the term bull run, probably within the last 20 minutes. And,
Gentlemen.
you know, I'm going to be the pessimist in the group as per usual. I think for a bull run to happen, we need new people onboarded. And I don't see new people being onboarded to either chain within the next month, 2 months, you know, maybe by summer, maybe. But I'm in the opposite camp. I don't think the bull's here yet. I think this is a nice little run that we're currently on, but without new users, it's just going to be the people that are here unloading our bags onto one another. And I'm just in the opposite camp
Well,
when
you're
it comes to
right.
that.
No, you're totally right. The only disagreement I have is that I don't think you need new people for a bull run as long as people are making money out of crypto. I just all that matters, liquidity is king. If people are making money on Bitcoin and altcoins and meme coins and whatever, clearly they're happy just throwing it around here. And keeping in mind that like 800 mil of that is locked up on the sidelines over on Blast. I don't think we need new people for an extended run here that lasts months, if not more. We do need new people to see those highs that we saw, 2022. But again, maybe it's all
I
about how
mean,
much money people make
new
on crypto.
we need new people just for mass adoption for survival in general. You know, if we stay in our little bubble and don't expand outside to normies in some way, shape, or form, then we're going to continue to live in our little bubble, and we'll stay here, and we'll GM each other, and ask questions like
What's
we're
wrong with
asking
that?
now.
I mean, I would argue that they're like, it's cats that question, like what's wrong with it? Nothing. Like there is so much money being traded right now, and guys, this is actually a big number here too as far as profits. Like this will work as long as people are in profits. We are at, as of right now this week, an 82-week high for profits. That's why we don't need more people. Again, as long as something is funding it, it keeps everybody here happy and trading and engaged. And I do consider this a bull run. It's all about making money.
Huda Draco is hitting up the idiots chat with stuff too. I guess he must be a soul maxi.
Oh, let's see.
No, but he was talking about the different DeFi airdrops. That's what he was, agreeing with you. There's just liquidity being added over everywhere, and people like to spend money they get for free.
I mean, that is driving it right now. And man, we all need to get in that Solana ecosystem. I'm starting to look around there for sure now. Chatting with some guys. A lot of guys at Crypto Slam have been Solana focused since day one. So they're being really nice and helping me, at least point me to where to be looking and stuff. But we're really missing out if we're not going and playing in the DeFi ecosystem over on Solana. This is like a call to action for idiots, man. We gotta step it up, I think, and get in there and get the alpha and start making some gains over there. We do.
The Kongs have been guys like Draco, I think maybe Dr. Pickle plays around in Solana. There's like a lot of people talking Solana. I see it a lot in the chat. We're getting whitelists for Solana. There's a lot going on. And I think to Draco's point, by the way, I might be hitting that spot on the drive where it gets a little, so just cut me off if
cool.
If it gets wonky.
But that's all good.
You've got liquidity coming in from VCs that are funding pre-sales of tokens that get listed on central exchanges that people are buying. Okay, people outside of the typical NFT ecosystem, buying, selling. People in the NFT ecosystem are making money off of these airdrops, and so you have this like fresh liquidity coming in from people that may have nothing to do with NFTs. They're just traders, right? They're just people buying and selling token drops or tokens that get listed on central exchanges, and they may have nothing to do with Web3 or specifically NFTs, but they're partaking in liquidity for degens. So I think I think counter to what Moisty's saying, which by the way, bro, I absolutely agree. Like we need more people to come in for this to be like long term, but at the same time, as long as liquidity is coming in, and there's a lot, again, VCs have like started opening up their pockets again. As long as there's liquidity coming in, I think it's somewhat sustainable for as long as this little run lasts. If the run lasts for 3 months, if it's 6 months, if it's 5 months, if it's, I guess I don't think this is like a 2-week run. I think we're probably like, I feel like is it crazy to think without some black swan event that we're probably maintaining through, February, give or take. You got tax season coming in. That's going to start maybe fueling people to start getting a little more funky with their money. I don't know. I'm feeling like a little bullish on what's happening right now. It's a lot of hope out there.
I'm with you entirely. I mean, I think this is I think this is real. Again, I mean, not saying anything new here. I don't think we need new people yet. And I do believe new people are coming. It's all the things we talked about for years. I think they're coming through games. I think they're coming through big brands. But you know what, Henry, you said something there that actually, I'm not going to push back on it, but it is an area of concern of mine. It's that, okay, like when we were really running, there was money just piling into this ecosystem behind projects. There were brands coming in. I'm seeing less and less of that now. And in fact, behind the scenes, I know most of the like established businesses, Web3 businesses and brands are struggling in a way like people have no fucking idea. But I do see money coming into it's getting consolidated. Like Mocha's raising a shit ton of money. It's examples like that. I don't know who else really. Inspect, right? Inspect and Mocha, some bigger platforms. But again, it's feeling like it's consolidating and becoming more centralized. And I don't know what that means for a sustainable run. Maybe I'll put it that way. Thoughts on that in general, though? Like, again, I don't feel like it's the same type of money coming in here now.
No, okay. I agree. So pushing back on what I was saying, you're right. I think it isn't even a pushback. It's just in addition to what I said, what you said, because VCs dried up. They did not want to put anything into Web3 for, you could argue like 9 months to a year. And now, because they're fickle and these guys are just about profits, it feels a little bit dirty, but they are willing to back what they think are, well, first they're willing to back something that's got a token that they're going to drop because they want to make their money off of it. They don't give a shit about IP plays at all. They're just funding things for the hopium, for their pre-sale, and whatever their vested period is, where they're going to be able to, I don't want to say dump, but at least get their investment back. And they're willing right now. They are absolutely willing. I mean, we just had a spaces with Overworld. What was interesting about that was like, this is like a new breed. This is Jeremy has, worked on games like Harry Potter. He's backed by VCs. I mean, here he is on Spaces talking about how confident he is about his secondary floor prices. I mean, this is like a new version of like studios that are coming in backed by VCs that weren't willing to fund things before that are very willing to fund things now. So yeah, to your point, it's like they're interested in opportunities that they think that they can make money off of, and it seems like those opportunities lately revolve around like what they would consider to be more, if you want to call like mainstream ventures. Like if you look at Grapes, more of like a studio environment. You look at Overworld, and there's how many of these things are coming out that we don't even know about, or even protocols like Portal.
Portal is what I was going to mention. It's token season. It's okay. There is a push for all these Web3 brands to drop tokens, and we're starting to see that now. I think it's tip of the iceberg, and I like this. Like, by the way, very early on when I started NFTs, Web3, whatever. Okay, first off, it was that like romantic period where I saw the way NFTs, crypto in general, was going to change the world. I'm like, dude, everyone's going to have a token. My family's going to have a token, and we'll be able to swap it with your family, and your token's going to be based on your reputation and kind of your worth. And, the grocery stores chains will have tokens too. In like, as we've gone down, a couple years away from that, I moved away from that thought, right? I'm like, okay, that was maybe a little far. I'm kind of switching back to that, right? As long as policymakers don't kill tokens, which I know they want to do, then why not? Why not tokenize absolutely everything and really start changing the way we transact and really start getting into the value of digital items and letting people swap digital items? So like, I'm very much in the camp that everybody should have a token now.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
I was listening to, I don't even remember what the stream was the other day, but somebody was actually mentioning the need for that, like the actual need that we're going to have as a society for that with the expansion of AI. Because now they're like, with AI videos that can be manufactured and all that, we're going to need blockchain for security reasons to even know if something's real or not. So, I found it as an interesting point. Like thinking about,
that is interesting. No, that like clicked in my mind when you said that. I'm like, that is interesting. You can certainly use blockchain as a way to validate whether or not a video, like, I'm just giving an example. If the White House said, hey, the only videos that are real are going to come from this, from this account, and you were able to validate that on chain. Now, granted, everybody would have to be on the up and up in order to maybe understand that level of technology. But yeah, I'm sure at some point it could get streamlined a little bit better, but makes sense to me.
So
yeah, I just, we hear AI is going to take over everything, but that made a lot of sense to me too.
Yep. Henry, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it does. I was going to say what I love about this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I want to hear your take, because this switches gears a little bit, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so like, let's say effectively we found out in what year are we in? 23. Okay, we're in 23. We found out about Yuga Labs with the SEC in October of 22. And like the SEC, let's say for a good part of the year of 23 was just going ham, right? But they started losing. And what's interesting is on the back of a lot of losses that have really kind of been in crypto's favor, especially with like XRP. Is it interesting to see like, okay, people were a little bit timid about tokens there for a little bit, but now it's almost like you're just going to dump them from the sky and be like,
yep.
Yeah, we don't care at all what's happening with the SEC.
We're not scared of you anymore, right?
We don't care.
There's a bit of that. We
don't care, whatever. I just wonder if that, like, if those wins has played into VCs being more willing, to put their, toes in the water. And if people are just like, yeah, who cares? We don't care. Nobody else seems to have an issue
specifically, with it. VCs are asking for it. VCs want tokens. So absolutely, it feels like they're not afraid. That does this point. I'll make this point. I don't want to stay on it though. It is one of the worrying things though for Solana in general. There's two things, right? As bullish as Solana is right now, what happens when validators get paused, right? What happens then to NFTs? Does everybody go back to that narrative of, oh, Solana can't ever be a thing that holds much value because that can happen? So that's one point. The other is Solana is one of those few major tokens that's listed by the SEC and is named in lawsuits, and they're calling it a security. Same with Matic. They're not talking about ETH like that, I don't believe, but Matic and Solana they are, or Sol they are. So just things to keep in mind here. I don't know that the SEC wins any of that. I hope they don't, but Solana is a big target for them. So I saw B-Check and Legendary, they do their morning market or modern market show. It caught my eye yesterday because they had opposite takes on it, I guess. I think B-Check is saying, yeah, dude, tokens are fine even if you don't need a token. Like Beanie's take is always, don't do a token if you don't need one. And again, my point was, I think just do them anyways. I like the idea of tokenizing everything, but I want to see if this audio comes through. I want to play their minute-long clip and hear their takes on it, guys, real quick. Let me know if you can hear this. Oh, you know what? I got the tab muted. Hang on. Do you guys hear that or no?
No.
Oh, okay. One
No,
second.
no.
Probably now it'll work.
Yeah, another perspective to add to that is
Yes.
nothing would draw the attention of the SEC and regulators than a token launch. And Pudgies are establishing a solid business model with the toy line. So I don't know if they want to have that exposure right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know about that line of argument at all. Like, I know people keep saying like, "Oh, it's not in their business model." Like, I just don't think it matters whether it's in their business model or not. It's like Bankless were huge, and I know some people like don't like Bankless for some reason, but whatever. They're a huge media company, and yeah, you don't need to do a token to do media. Like, they could have kept selling sponsorships for ever and ever and ever like that, and it would have been a perfectly good media business.
Yeah, another perspective to add to that is that nothing would.
Okay, I didn't hear anything that convinced me one way or the other there. But yeah, again, leaving with my take, I like it. I like everybody, whether you need a token or not, tokenizing, like making an ERC20 just to open up your ecosystem. Like, forget the value. The value will work itself out. If something doesn't deserve value, it won't have value. But if you can find a way to drive value to that token through utility, great. Like, let's try it out. I think this is a new economy, and the more pieces you have in that economy, I think the better. Moisty's back. What's up, bro?
I agree.
I do want to, like, one last market comment, and then I want to get into some of the top stories this week. There were a couple really, really big things. Has your opinion, this is more specifically for Henry, but it's open to everyone. So, Henry, again, early on, we had talked about Ethereum being the king, like the top dog blockchain forever. Like, if it's Ethereum, they will always be the top dog. And now with Bitcoin flipping briefly, and now even in extended periods, like in the past 30 days, Bitcoin is the number one blockchain. Solana in the short term as well. Has your opinion changed at all that Ethereum is always going to be the king? That is the chain that will be known really for NFTs, or do you see it as this more like expansive ecosystem where Ethereum is somewhere, maybe in the top 5, but that other chains, Bitcoin specifically, is like the top dog, let's say 10, 15 years out from now?
Yeah, no, my view hasn't changed, because I include all the layer 2s or anything that's like EVM compatible in Ethereum. So from that perspective, like, everything you're saying may be true. It is true. Like, as far as like Bitcoin, Solana, NFTs selling, doing more volume than Ethereum, but nobody's building anything that anybody gives a shit about on Bitcoin, or when I say to any scale that anyone cares about. You're just talking about people degenning right now, maybe Provenance, and same on Solana. Like, you don't have major studios that are building games. And when I say major studios, I mean like within Web3. Nobody's really building anything on these chains. Maybe on Solana they are. Maybe that's possible. I know
they're
there's
starting
DeFi
on
that's,
Solana,
but they're but like, if you think of like how far behind they are from what's being built on layer 2s. And to your point, you said before about like when the bull comes and you can save gas. I mean, do a mint on Arbitrum. What are you going to pay in gas?
Right.
Nothing. Go on Avalanche. Nothing. Go on Ronin.
And Base. We were talking about that in Discord. I do think Base is going to be huge. With that line of thinking, I actually fully agree with you. If you're rolling up L2s into Ethereum as a whole, I agree. At that point, Ethereum top dog for sure. I totally see that. Maybe Bitcoin is the only one I could still probably see a scenario where in the long run, like again, 10, 15 years out, they are king, because they are building stuff over there, like tools and products, metaverses, all kinds of stuff. But I don't know if I would roll them up. I would probably consider them separate. But I guess then you come down to, if Ethereum goes bye-bye, do those layer 2s? And I guess they, to some degree, would.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard.
Anything's possible, right? We're in the infancy of all of this, but it just seems like Ethereum has a major advantage for builders because layer 2s have been being worked on for years at this point, and I just think it's so much further ahead than Solana and Bitcoin. So, like, it's possible. I leave it open, for possibility, but I just think not probable. Plus, you can bridge. Like, you can have, if you want the provenance of mainnet, you can have your NFT there. But like, you can build bridges now. Look, we got bridges from mainnet to Polygon to AVAX to Arbitrum, soon to Ronin. So it's like you can have the ability if you want your project to be like flagship, let's say on mainnet, but then you can bridge for your game over to whatever L2 you want or index it over to an L2. So yeah, I just think it's I'm still a bit of I'm chain agnostic, but I still think most of the building will be on Ethereum, at least for the next handful of years.
Yeah. And again, with L2s being a part of that, I agree. So our top story this week, though, it kind of does play into all of this too, because we had one of Bitcoin's developers coming out this week calling inscriptions an exploit, basically, and calling them spam. And really, if it were up to this guy, inscriptions go away entirely, which means that whole conversation I have about Bitcoin, being ahead of Ethereum in the long run, well, that goes bye-bye, right? Because in his scenario, in his perfect world, ordinals, inscriptions, BRC20s don't exist at all, which is crazy to think. Now, I don't know that I'm too worried about this because he's been saying this now since, ordinals and inscriptions started in January. I don't know if he can make this change all on his own, and I don't think it actually happens. But you got to be concerned a little bit that the tech is still young enough that just like Solana, they can turn off validators, right? And it can go poof. Well, seems like ordinals and inscriptions can too. Are you a little more cautious about that ecosystem now because of this?
No.
Not at all.
No, like what? Okay, am I crazy to think that in order to let's say shut it off, they would have to fork to a new chain? Like, can they just? Yeah, and I mean they haven't had much success with Bitcoin Cash. The people who forked, I don't know. I just feel like he may not like it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't stop the community from doing what they want. So is he basically saying like it's a hack? I mean, effectively, like it's kind of funny, like
taking advantage of something that is designed and keeping in mind that the first ever Bitcoin transaction had an inscription on it. It had like a news headline inscribed on it. So it was intended to do that. But it's very weird seeing a guy like this who you would think you're in good hands with, somebody who understands decentralization and the importance of it, then trying to moderate it, then trying to centralize the power of it and dictate what it is and what it isn't. Really, really strange to me.
Why does he care?
Bitcoin fees. Like, again, these guys are so locked into Bitcoin is digital gold and nothing else, and it can't be anything else, because then that breaks Bitcoin being digital gold, which I don't think it does, but he thinks it does.
Gotcha. They don't want degens. They don't want degens playing with digital gold. They've become too good for us.
That's it, and they've lost the way, man. Like, this guy's lost the way when you start thinking like that. So my understanding is any Bitcoin upgrade, which happen, sometimes multiple times a year, they involve forks. I think, I could be wrong, but I think this is true. They're small forks, right? But a change that I think he would implement to get rid of inscriptions, ordinals, whatever, I think would then be an actual hard fork, and you would have a major splintering off here. And I don't know what that would look like, but just interesting to see this become, such a big talking point here and introducing some real FUD into the space. I know BRC20s plummeted, and so did Ordinals collections. They plummeted this week after he made this tweet. I think they've all recovered that value too, but I mean, it definitely had a market impact.
That is, I love, I love this little ecosystem and all the idiosyncrasies of it. Like how somebody like that, effectively, obviously, like Bitcoin is the gold of the blockchain, would look down on something like inscriptions. Like, it's catering to the very are the people that are in Bitcoin and just blockchain in general, aren't those the people that you're effectively catering towards? And so, like, why would you care what they're doing with it? It's kind of baffling to me. Like I
agree. That's why I think the dude lost his way. I think he forgot what it's all about, and he suddenly wants to centralize power, and he wants to be the decision maker on what it is and what it isn't, and that is so against the whole point of it.
But isn't it hilarious to see, like, okay, the reaction of the market based off that statement, and almost immediately the reversal of that with who was it, Udi or whoever from Taproot Wizards, like his response to it.
Oh, that was such a great response.
I mean, it's hilarious. I like the mentality of DJs. It's great. I love it.
Did you see that response, guys? Like Henry, I guess you specifically.
Sorry, I was just reading one of those comments in the chat. Which response?
Udi's response. He's the Taproot Wizards, maybe founder.
No,
that
no,
guy there.
no.
Oh my
No,
god!
what did he say?
So he responded
Priceless.
to that dev, and I'm going to try to find the tweet real quick here. Hang on, give me a minute because I'm going to find it. Oh god, I hope I can find this here. Oh, okay. Here it is. Pretty sure this is his take.
I'm trying to
Yeah, here it
understand
is.
Andrew Cameron's comment.
Let me check that real
Okay.
quick.
Can you give me that? Because I'm driving.
Yeah, hands down layer 2, but as someone that's just getting into NFTs a couple years ago, I'll never buy an ETH NFT Sol layer 2 Matic BNB.
Oh, sorry, I meant Udi's response.
Oh, Udi's, yeah.
I read Andrew's.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Udi's response to Luke, that Bitcoin dev. Luke has made some sporadic contributions to open source Bitcoin projects over the years, but he does not own the chain. He's been rage tweeting about ordinal inscription since February and was unable to stop them. We expect the coping and seething to continue as ordinals further strengthen their position as the main use case of the Bitcoin blockchain. We'd like to use this opportunity to thank Luke for hosting our wizard JPEGs on the Bitcoin nodes forever. It's like, fuck you, dude, and also thank you for helping us do this thing you hate. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
bro.
that's great.
That guy's awesome. Dude, he's Tribe too. He's awesome. He's a cool dude.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's awesome.
No surprise there.
Yeah, no surprise there. Yeah, he's a cool fucker.
Cool. Yeah,
like
Andrew's comment, I guess I didn't understand it because he said he was new to NFTs, but then he said, maybe I'm reading it wrong, like he wouldn't buy NFTs on ETH layer 2, Sol, or Binance.
Oh, I think he's saying hands down layer 2s as maybe the winners. That's as someone getting into NFTs a few years ago. He'll never buy an ETH NFT. I think it's more like now it's Sol layer 2.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying in addition to. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's more like I'm all layer 2 in Solana, not ETH mainnet now.
Ooh.
I think.
Yeah, that's an interesting take.
Yeah. Okay. He said. Yep.
Not a wrong.
He needs to get into the Cardano NFT ecosystem then.
Cardano's ripping too, guys. For real, it really is. It's really awesome seeing this ecosystem expand. I've always loved seeing it grow outward, not always up, right? Even if sales aren't, kind of through the roof, it's growing and it's growing outward. By the way, throughout that Bitcoin, I guess, drama, Casey Rodarmore was named the most influential person in crypto this year, which is awesome because he is. I mean, man, he's made a disruptive tech. It is going to reshape how Bitcoin works. For a brief period of time, fees on Bitcoin exceeded fees on Ethereum. So that happened in just maybe a couple days, a few day window earlier this week. It might have been last week, but it is certainly a what's the word? Not impactful. It's a disruptive technology that he made up, and I do think they're going to be around for the long haul. I think even if they fork, they'll survive too. Going to be very interesting. Now, also this week, a major happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Sotheby's is auctioning one of the very first, if not the first, Bitcoin ordinals collections. So they're called Bitcoin Shrooms. Those are numbered, I think, in the first few hundred inscriptions. And last I checked, in fact, let's actually pull it up. Take a look at the bids that we're getting on these. Any guesses? Do you guys have any guesses on how much those bids are up to?
I mean, if it's at Sotheby's, I'm hoping it's hitting 7 figures.
Ooh, that'd be wild. Right now, it's in the 6 figures. I think there's 3 lots. I got to dive in and see if there's more than 3. But the first lot's at $42,000 for a bid. That is for one ordinal. I believe it's for one. Let me check. There's 2 other lots I saw, and I don't know if there's more beyond those 3. Okay, so we got 42,000, we have 50,000 and 28. So those haven't moved in days. So we're like $120,000 in bids on 3 orders.
I thought somebody was going to go like over the top, like Badgers, just for the headlines.
Well, that's funny because that's exactly what happened following that auction being announced. Is we saw that Badger get sold, almost a $500,000 ordinal sale. So that is for inscription number 8. That is this wild looking Badger. Man, I wish I was there when something like that was minted, right? Just to understand why. Or if it was just like uploading something as quick as you can just to get something in. But there is value to those first, let's say first few hundred. I don't buy into the value of the first 10K inscriptions, although maybe this week I'm leaning more towards maybe I'm wrong about that, but the first few hundred, definitely a lot of value. And we see that here with, again, number 8 going for 10.6 Bitcoin. It's a pretty massive freaking number, guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How was that funded? Was that like one person that did it, or was that like community kind of pooling together?
One dude, I want to see if I can find. It's like BC Champion or I gotta find his name.
Yeah, the Badgers community was hitting him up hardcore.
OG General, that was it. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
the
the General.
Cardno was trying to get him on a Spaces, and I do think, I really do think this pumps Badgers, like the Honey Badgers, and I know they did for a very short time, but I'm really bullish on Badgers just because they've never really had a pump. They are pretty early, and that does matter from time to time, but I see that like a prime marketing opportunity now to get this guy and loop him into the Badgers community. Like what for this guy would drive up the value of his NFT too, I think, right? Having a community of these, 10K honey badgers behind this one, like this king badger. Just a cool storyline there. So
this is the same Badgers we're in, right? This is Badgers, or is
I'm
this
talking
a
about
different
the
Badger?
Badger. Yeah,
no.
like, and this thing isn't part of it, but yeah, I'm talking about the honey badgers that we're in.
Yeah, okay.
Henry, the Honey Badger community rated this whole thing, and the Decrypt story on this actually says that it's part of the Honey Badgers collection. So it's pretty funny. They memed that pretty hard on Twitter.
That's awesome. I think
they did pump for a bit, I guess, right?
Imagine Badgers ever like made it. I think in the 80s we've got a pretty decent collection of Badgers.
Oh yeah, I think I've probably got around. I've somewhere between 6 and 10.
A
few of those are under 100K. What do you got around the same?
Yeah, I think I have eight or 10. Yeah, never. I haven't sold an ordinal, so everything I've ever bought. So
I had 6 Badgers. I've sold 4, and I'm like way in profit on them. So
nice.
I'm holding the last 2.
Yo,
what are they at?
Cats is the smartest one out of all of us, yo. I swear to God, he's the smartest one.
Dude, I sold some of them at like 0.006 to 0.008. Like,
Moisty, what did you say?
Cats is the smartest one out of all of us. We're all
Dude.
bag holding, and Cats is like, yeah. I sold that shit 6 months ago. Yo.
Cats has turned into a gangster. I saw this coming a year ago. Like I legit saw this coming. Like I remember seeing Walshy, one of our OG idiots. Early on, I'm like, okay, he's not trading like the rest of us. He's in this for profits. He is like cycling in and out of NFTs, and he's making a lot of money. And I saw this turn in Cats a while back where he's like hyper focused on his project on Valeria, and he's also making all the right plays. Like I remember there was a collection that shot up to like 5 ETH and he didn't sell it, and that was like a turning point for him where he realized you got to fucking take profits when they're
yeah, I learned my lessons in the last bull.
Yeah,
big time.
You're going to make it in a big wage because you're approaching it like I see the guys who really win, like how they approach it. But Badgers in general, I do think, guys, we have an opportunity, like us as idiots, to get more vocal about Badgers, like in an organic way, right? But there's enough of us. I think we could really push these out there, at least so people are aware of them, and I do think these could do really well too. So
I've still been active in that community, and now Tickles is just super active in all that alpha because their alpha group has really come along, and they've gained a lot of momentum lately.
I pop in from time to time and just say hello, but there's something
they're
about
very
the
active.
community. Yeah, it's a fun. Is it Aku or Akvi? What's the guy's name?
Yeah,
the founder
or something, something like that. I know what you mean.
Super nice guy, man. Like he's active on Twitter. He likes people's posts. He's great. Yeah, that's a community I'd love to see do well.
Mm-hmm. We could help. We could definitely help. Loot said there's a couple big ETH mints coming this week. I don't know Poglin. I know Overworld, but are we starting to get to mint season? Like, is that coming?
Yeah.
Aqua.
Yeah, you've got Aqua. Yeah, so you got Overworld coming up. Man, there was another really hyped one. Let me think of which one it is. It's not Champions Ascension.
Oh, which we're going to get into that because we need to do a little Kong's focus. Henry, how much longer you got, by the way?
Yeah, probably like 40 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Then I can get to furry time.
Portal does Portal
even
Coin.
kidding.
Do they have a drop coming? Like Portal Coin, do they have an NFT, or is it just? Oh no, it's the pre-sale of the token.
Yeah. Did you see they got a guy like former Rockstar Games now on their board?
Of Portal?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and now he's been gone there for 15 years, so people are really pushing that narrative, even though he's not that involved or wasn't, but he was for a while. But it adds a little legitimacy to that Portal Coin. I'm really fucking up not farming any of these tokens. Like, man, I'm doing everything you could do wrong. I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, but don't beat yourself up. You work full time in Web3. It's kind of like being on the strip in Las Vegas, and you have these casinos where people are going in and out, and some are making money, some are losing money. But then you have the support, right? You have like the shows that are on the strip that people go to, and you have the service providers. And like when you're a service provider, like you're really deep into the culture of what's happening in Vegas, but at the same time, like you're not partaking in it because you're providing services for those people. And I think that's part of what you do.
Yeah.
You're doing a show, you're at Crypto Slam, like you're providing services for the people that are going into the casinos, either making money or losing money. But you can't do both. Like
Yeah.
you can't be in the casino while you're trying to like give people information about gambling. I mean, I just think that's a difficult thing to do.
Right,
So
dude. It really
don't be
is.
too hard on yourself.
It's. I'm only hard on it because I know the opportunities out there. But I've always said this too. I do really, really appreciate that. Like, loving what you do is worth more than like money itself, and it really is. So that helps offset it. And with that said, I know when we get in that real bull run, when we really throttle up, and I still think that's a year off, maybe, or 6, whatever it is, everybody gains there. Like, it doesn't take much, right? So I know that's coming at some point. Just trickier period, I guess, right now. I'm going to shift to another story. It's kind of in the same vein as the Bitcoin story. Might get back to this that's on screen too, but as long as we're talking about, I don't know, things that can reshape an entire blockchain. I lost my link. Where are you? Okay, hang on. Almost got it. Things that can reshape a blockchain. Okay. Big news this week about a vulnerability on Ethereum. So we had this company called Third Web, and they announced that there are vulnerabilities in their open libraries. Like they have contracts, ERC 721s and ERC 20s, and I think 2 or 3 other contracts that many people have used that they found a vulnerability that is exploitable, and they are encouraging anybody using those contracts to migrate off them ASAP. Pretty scary. I said earlier this week, that's still my biggest fear, and it's not gone away at all. It's that there is going to be an exploit that's found at the core, at like the MetaMask wallet level, at the contract level, like we're seeing here, but something that's so deep that it wrecks absolutely fucking everyone. This maybe isn't that, but it's a reminder that still could happen, and we don't know that this isn't that, by the way. OpenSea used their contracts on some of their collections. Rarible used those contracts, and we did see a collection. Hit by this exploit. Now that it was explained what the exploit is, that gave malicious, bad actors the chance to actually go and start attacking, and they have. Here, I think, is the very first example we saw. Nownish Punks. So someone was able to take advantage of that contract. They minted 1,400 of these Nownish Punks. I don't know if they had to pay or if they just like a free mint to their wallet, but minted those. They made 13 ETH. It's a lot of money. And if people don't migrate off, I think this could be tip of the iceberg. But we still don't know how actually, how wide this is, affecting projects out there yet. We don't know yet. As much as possible, I think people are trying to be quiet and keep the migrating behind the scenes, right? General thoughts, guys. What does this mean for Ethereum? Do you have those same fears that I have?
Yeah. Like they're how many Trojan horses are already like present, right? And there was something that happened in 21. I remember I can't tell you all the details of it, but there was something in like late 21 where there was some sort of exploit or some sort of permission that like people had given, months and months prior, and the person waited like months before he started draining. It was bizarre. It was out of the blue. And all of a sudden, I don't know if you remember that, if that rings any sort of bell,
It
but it was
does.
like people were losing assets, and it was like everyone was kind of like, oh man, was I any part of that? Or people didn't like know where it was coming from, but it was kind of across the spectrum. They didn't know like exactly what it was. So
I feel like that was something where there was like seed phrases stored in like an accessible server.
maybe
And then there was
that's what it
somebody
was.
sitting on them all and just waiting to drink. I do remember like very generally that scenario, and it was awful and that's scary as fuck. And
Yeah,
dude,
but
I still like people do talk about this, and it is a little while off. But quantum computing really will crack everybody's seed phrase. Like that is something we're gonna have to face at some point. Like 12 words, that is not gonna be hard for that kind of computing power to be able to crack.
what about like, okay, so how much harder would it be for like Shamir backup, where you have like a 5 out of 7 Shamir backup, so like 20 words, and you have to put together 5 lists, so 100 words. I mean, is that no more of a leap than it would be for it to crack 12? Just maybe takes a little more time.
Yeah, I think it's that. It just takes more time, but that the amount that these kind of machines can compute in such a short time, I don't know if seed phrases or the way that we do security now even works then. Like I think encryption as we know it has to change entirely. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I'm so not technical enough to that degree, but I just know that that's coming. Like a decade off, it could be less, but just like AI is growing exponentially, so is quantum computing. And that's going to be, again, imagine something that just resets us back to zero.
Dude, and what's scary about this is that when you are, let's say I'm just going to say Samsung as an example. You're a Web2 company, a major one, and you're looking to hire, you want to take a venture into Web3. So you hire an advisory company. By the way, like I've talked with you about this before, like when we were working with Etihad and the advisory company that they had. A couple kids out of the UK there were 19 years old. Okay. So like these companies, it's not like they have this polished Web3 team when they're willing to go on chain, and that these guys have been doing it forever. They're literally kind of going to degens to a certain degree. Right. Degens that might have a nice landing page, right? So you go to these people and you think like they're the experts because they can talk a really big game. And they talk to you about smart contracts and they know enough for you to feel comfortable with it. But then ultimately, they're just using some copy pasta contract. They're not actual developers. Maybe they hire a dev, but that dev is just like maybe some baseline Solidity dev who is using copy pasta contracts. And it's kind of scary because how do you vet? Like, how does a non-dev vet a dev? You can't. Like, you have no idea how to like audit what they're looking at. I mean, you could have it audited, but at the end of the day, I guess my point is that's why devs are so important. Good devs are really hard to find. Guys who are writing their own smart contracts and not just like grabbing them off the shelf at Office Depot and tweaking this and tweaking that. So it's kind of scary because as like normies, non-devs, we don't know what we're looking at. So if you want to start an NFT project and you don't have an OWL or you don't have, some deep degen Solidity dev, where are you going? You're going to something like this and you're using like a third party, contract. So yeah, it is a little scary. We put a lot of trust into something that we know very little about.
But that's also a perfect
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Katz, any thoughts on all that?
No, I couldn't agree more. And like as I've gotten to know like a dev, I mean it blows my mind. And I'm like, getting into a project, you want to know that the dev is good and making their own contracts at this point. I mean, because like you said, I mean it's so easy to start a project now with just the copy stuff like that's getting has the vulnerability right now. Yeah, you. You want to do research on the dev, not just the team. So anyway.
Yeah.
Remember Akutar?
Dude, somebody tweeted this last night. Still 27 million bucks still locked in a contract.
Oh, yeah, I think it was like 11,500 ETH locked forever.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. And what do you do? Like, what do you do? You hope. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, question. So first off, going back, I guess, to the quantum computing and when that can crack, when that can crack these seed phrases and get these private keys, can that be recovered then?
No, okay. So the way I understand it from Owl, it's a function in the contract. I'm not going to say this right. It's been a while. What was it, Kutar? It's like well over a year ago. It's like a function in the contract that like allows it to go in, but doesn't allow it to go out.
Oh,
I
it's
think
not like the keys are lost or anything. It's literally
No,
the
no.
contract doesn't allow transfers
Yeah.
out. Similar to
Yeah.
like V1 punks, right? Like something like that where you couldn't sell your you couldn't make money on a sale, right? Something, yeah. So fundamentally broken. That's right.
It's almost like a one-way street,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
or a check valve. Like, yeah, you can put in, but there's no function. Like
That's funny.
it's almost like there was no function to get it out. Not that
That's
the keys were
insane.
lost.
Okay,
Yes.
then last point on even the quantum thing and these seed phrases and keys. Can somebody, do you think one day quantum computing will crack the burn address, be able to access that wallet and transfer out all the shit in there? Imagine that.
Wow.
Like your biggest brain should be looking at that and being doing nothing but trying to figure out how to get that seed phrase. Think of that.
That is, yeah, that's
That'd be
interesting.
like our Oasis moment, you know, like in Ready Player One, you know, like the winner of the game gets the keys to, you know, the Oasis.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, dude,
yeah.
whoever cracks that basically, you know, owns the NFT space in a way, right? But there's just so much value in that burn wallet, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Popping up Andrew's comment here. Don't forget, lads, crypto is the last worry in a large scale if quantum comes out to break codes. Yeah, actually, no, it's a good point.
So you talking about like nuclear codes?
He's just saying, like if something can crack seed phrases, get our private keys, he's like, it's also going to crack, you know, all the keys to banks and
Banking
nuclear
pins.
you know, codes and, you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You're totally right, man.
Okay,
and that's
fair.
coming, which tells me they got to, you know, our encryption and the way we secure things must change. Back to developers, though, man. I did want to talk about CyberCongs because you guys have been having a monster week too, and so is Ronin. It's kind of hand in hand at this point. So first off, the Guardian contract now is over on the Ronin blockchain. You guys have locked up the Genkais over there, which is fucking awesome. Kudos to you guys in the building you've done. Great to see the Guardian contract getting used outside of Ethereum now for the first time, I think.
Well, yeah. So technically, you know, we had it on Polygon with VXs,
Sure.
but yeah. Now it's on Ronin.
Killer.
Now it's on Ronin.
Oh, that's so cool. Are you offering it to other projects over on Ronin?
Here's the thing, and anyone that wanted to use the Guardian contract, like I think Memeland uses it, and Kyung uses it in his ecosystem. They don't label it as such, but they use the functionality of it. Like anybody can, like it's open source. ERC 721X.
You guys have your own contract basically that people can copy the base code and, you know, modify their way if they want.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Exactly. And like just trying to keep it Kongish for the space. It's not something we sell. If somebody wants to use it, it's like we're an open book with that.
Yeah.
Like happy to try to help.
That's man.
Surprising that people don't use it, right?
It's fucking shocking, and man, I love that it's being pushed a little right now. I hope to see you guys lean into the tech more and more because that is your guys' strength is security and you know the building together thing. By the way, the Ronin validator you guys spun up, absolutely bonkers. Are you guys still number one?
So I think so like we're now like I think we may be number one on the non-governing validators, but we also might be number 2 or 3 because when you're number 1, your APR goes down. And so we had some unstaked purposely, so that way the APR would be better for people.
Interesting. So there's a little gaming to it too. So
there's a lot of gaming to it. Yeah, there's it's funny. When this all started, it just reminded me of in Star Wars where it's like, you know, and so begins the Clone Wars kind of thing, that whole thing. Like now the validator wars have begun because by us becoming a top 10 validator, somebody gets pushed out and now they're losing their daily rewards. So now they're trying to, you know, gain support for people to stake with them so they can get in the top 10. But because you're losing out on 375 daily RON basically as a top 10 validator, in addition to like whatever you're making from staking your own RON. But like to somebody running a node, that's like what, $600 a day, give or take, at current RON prices, a little more than that. So yeah, it's real money that's at stake. And at the end of the day, man, dude, the Kongs community and the Ronin community just like came out. We were only hoping to get in the top 10. That's all we wanted. And to like within 2 days hit 10 million staked RON was
man,
just incredible to see, actually.
The power of the Kongs. I was talking internally to the team just about Kongs because, you've got fans now. I mean, not now, but you have fans at Crypto Slam for the Cyber Kongs. And just showing them, again, I just look at it as a milestone and just show the strength because, some of the guys, everybody at Crypto Slam are true NFT, not, degens, whatever, hardcore believers in the tech and all this. But they didn't always believe in these NFT projects that were popping up and gone the next day. And, like just the spammy kind of shitcoin.
Rightfully so.
Version. Rightfully so. Absolutely. But Kongs were different. And some of these guys, and, like Ryan in particular was like, yeah, the Kongs I like. He's like, I like those guys. They're different. And you guys are different. And it's great to see things starting to ramp back up for you guys. I think we all expected it. And I know, not from anything I know that others don't, but I just know that there's big things coming for you guys. So keep at it, keep on track. I know you guys are going to keep killing it. Can't wait to see what you guys ultimately build on Ronin too. There are more things coming to Ronin, possibly. I saw last week, Kagi, fucking love Kagi. I just love the guy, his energy. So he mentioned that he thinks Treeverse is coming over to Ronin, which would be big. That's the Lupify kind of MMO game. But this week, he also tweeted out that he thinks Sandbox is going to migrate over to Ronin. So on the Ronin testnet, he saw the Sand token over there. And I think when you look at it, you can verify via the contract maybe or somehow that it's not just somebody else popping up their own version of Sand. I don't even know if you can do that, like make your own DeFi coins on Ronin. But that he thinks this is legitimately the Sand token on testnet. So you heard anything about that, Henry? Like, you got any thoughts about this?
I mean, I do have thoughts on it, and I don't think it's happening. And I don't think it's happening anytime soon. If it was to happen, I don't think it's anytime soon. Obviously, like, we got a really close relationship with the Sandbox as Kongs. I would love, like, if you don't think I'd love to see the Sandbox on Ronin, it just makes a ton of sense. I just don't think it's happening right now. I mean, maybe Sebastian surprises all of us and like it does happen, but they migrated to Polygon. What was that? A year and a half, 2 years ago? Is that a year and a half ago, give or take? Hey, I think it's fair to say like we want them on Ronin. I just don't know that it's happening right now. I think he's jumped the gun a little on that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But hey, I could be wrong, and maybe announcements made. I mean, we're pretty tight. Just to be totally honest, I feel like if that was happening, we would be some of the first to know. That's what I would think so.
Man,
but you
I'd
know
love
what's
to
cool?
see it.
Is just to see the excitement, like not to pump Kongs, but just like to your point, there's a lot that we do that doesn't get talked about, right? Like, because we're just that kind of project where we're just a little more degen and we're not always out there front and center. But like we leave Polygon, other big projects start leaving Polygon. We go to Ronin, and then all of a sudden, like other projects want to come over to Ronin. Pixels comes over to Ronin. Maybe the Sandbox, although I don't think that's happening right now. Maybe Treeverse. There's like a sense of like sometimes what we do leads the way, even if we don't get credit for it. And yeah, it's just kind of an interesting observation, but it makes me confident to at least know, like, all right, at least we got some things right.
I think you got a lot right. Katz, I'm going to show you something. Okay, hang on. Make sure I got the right screen here. I think there we go. Okay, I've been charting Val, which it's always maybe silly to chart, a coin like this with maybe not a ton of volume, but I've been waiting to buy into Val. I have a little bag, like the tiniest little bag, but waiting to buy in because I was hoping it was going to drop down to around where it's at now. You can definitely see, since we know like traders are playing with spread, like the whales got spreadsheets, they got percentage gains they're looking to make, right? So they've got specific levels where they're going to sell at or buy at or whatever. And you do see those play out on the charts. And Val's now falling into this range where I was looking to buy in because I did see a scenario where it can drop back into the 60s. It's back into the 60 cents now. And I'm maybe seeing if it falls to maybe what I saw as the last support level down here. and that would put it around 61 cents. But right now it's at like 60, I think 66. Anyway, I guess point there is you can still chart this shit. You can actually still read these coins and, you know, make some maybe educated, closer to guesses, but educated moves based on this stuff. And Val in particular is trading in channels. It really is. So I'm definitely watching out for that. I know you guys got news coming. It feels like you guys have announced the news though, right? Like the betas this weekend, that you got this trailer and some partnerships to announce. Is the only thing that's not announced is who those partnerships are with?
I mean, everybody at this point knows Seed Phrase is going to be part of that. They haven't announced all of them. The Dingling one hasn't publicly been announced. And I'm pretty sure the third one, they haven't announced it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Bored Ape, and quite possibly the number one rarity Bored Ape. So there's still some speculation being done. Also, like I told you prior to that, I'm not surprised by the dip because people are selling in preparation for Monday's mint. So I kind of called that too, even though I don't know anything about charts or anything, and I would be willing to speculate that it will increase after that mint because a lot of people are going to miss it. So, but we'll see what happens.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Cats, most will miss the mint, right? Because it's like what, 300,
Correct.
give or
There's
take.
there's only 300. Yeah, they ended up changing it to one per transaction, but there's not a limit per wallet. Because there was a real uproar when it was 3 per transaction. Everybody's like, well, this is going to be instantaneous. So, but yeah, so there's going to be a lot of people that miss out.
Can you mint from the contract?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's a dumb question, but like there was something recently where I was like, let's just mint from the contract. And somebody, maybe an idiot's told me like, no, you can't. Like they don't have that functionality. I'm like, they don't have a function where you can mint from the contract? What the hell? And they're like,
I don't know, man. The dev is super on top of things, but I didn't even ask, honestly. I'm going to try to mint, and we'll see what happens.
Is it in Val or ETH?
No, it's an ETH. This is an ETH mint, and honestly, the only reason they're doing it is because they're in talks with PMI, they're in talks with GRI, they're in, you know, honestly, like the big distributors and stuff want to see that there's demand, and this is their way of proving it. So,
yeah. No, it makes a ton of sense.
So I'll say this, my final point that it doesn't even matter, but like I'm probably gonna grab some Val this weekend because I think where I would feel comfortable that it's not gonna go much further down from is like right at 60 cents. That's like this level right here. It could fall that far, like probably likely even, but at that point, I mean, we're so darn close to 50 cents, and I'm with you where I think it's $1 coin. That probably puts the market cap at somewhere around like 6 or 7 mil. It's in that range. I'd even feel comfortable buying right now, knowing it almost got up to $1 earlier this week. So, yeah, it's almost there, man. I'm keeping my eye on this. I'm watching this closely.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch over the next couple of days.
I grabbed a little Val. I grabbed Ron, and I'm going to go back in for one or the other. But I just have no idea which one I want to play.
I've told you I don't even own any Val currently. I spend it all on the token sinks. But the thing I do like what you were talking about with coins in general, tokens in general, like it's fun to see new people coming into the ecosystem that don't own lands, don't own champs, but they own Val now. Like there's more Val holders than there are NFT holders, which is cool to see. You know.
Cats, can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
So based off the numbers on the 50 tokens per month that's incoming, what's the current floor on lands?
Oh man, there's a lot of that math out there. The thing is that 50, you know, it's going to be 500, and actually it'll end up by the end of emissions being more than 500 per month. You know, well, they did that 50 to make sure that.
Question.
Yeah.
With having so many lands, what's stopping you from selling one of those lands and buying a whole bag of Val right now? Do you think that's a bad idea, or?
I mean, lands haven't caught up yet. You think I don't have some lands listed, bro?
Oh, okay. All right.
I
didn't
actually
know
thought
that.
you did not. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, either did I. I didn't know that you guys were listed. So I was under these. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, technically, if you sold the land, even on the floor, you could buy enough Val that would cover how many months of airdrops. That's
Well,
the way I'm looking at it.
I mean, I've shared my plan in idiots. I don't mind sharing here. There's not many people. No, when Val dropped,
You don't have to.
yeah, I have a plan, and my plan is for profits. Honestly, we'll see how things go. I'm not going to buy in anymore right now. I'm at the stage where I now am going to be taking profits on the way up, and won't be buying anything else except for this mint. I won't be buying anything else until I'm free and clear. I want to be in a net profit on the entire project. So
Of course.
until I get to that point, I won't be buying anything else.
But when I
Again, I learned my lessons from the last bull.
Yeah. No. Listen, I agree with you. I'm in 100% agreement with you. But when I say buy and sell, I mean more of just like packing your bag. Like you have so many lands and you have 0 Val at the moment, and now you're waiting until the Val airdrops start coming in. So I guess from a mathematics perspective, if you were to sell one land and put all of that ETH from the land straight into Val, I'm sure you would get over 600 Val tokens on the cost of that land, which is the first year of Val airdrops. And
That's not the first year of Val airdrop. See, each land gets 12,000 over 2 years. So even though it's starting at 50, it's going to ramp up pretty quickly. Right.
Okay, so
you got to look at 12,000 as the value, and that's what I'm saying. They're way undervalued. And the upgraded lands get 20,000 Vals over 2 years, which I have 36 upgraded lands. And so, and that's what I'm saying. And that was a Val token sink. So yeah, there's more that goes. It's not 50 is the reason. Like when they dropped it to 50, that's the reason land prices have suffered, because people are only looking at the 50. They're not looking long term. So, dude, in 2025, when I'm making 600 Val per land, and the game's, if the game, does great and Val's doing great, that's where life-changing money
is. A higher
is,
upside than the quick flip into Val right now. Yeah. Okay.
So we'll see. Like I said, I mean,
didn't realize
I have a game plan. We'll see if it plays out. I'm flexible, but for me right now, my whole plan. I mean, I bought 8 more lands in Val on the marketplace when people were. I bought some lands for like 5,000 Val, which at the current price is crazy, but at the time when it was 12 cents, wasn't.
Damn.
So we'll see. But I'm going to sell all those lands. I've got my vault of lands, and that'll net me 40,000 Val per month at the normal 500 emission that's going to be coming, and then I'm going to sell these other lands to recover all my cost basis, and then we'll ride from there.
Cool. Henry's got to fly. Good shit, man. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, great chatting with you, idiots, as always. I'm just getting to my shop, so time to rug people today.
Yeah, dude.
Have a great day, man.
Hope your day's awesome, man.
You too, cats. Moisty, Huda, love you, dude. I'll chat with you guys soon. All right.
Love you too. See you, bro.
Love you, Henry. Thank you.
I'm gonna hit on one last point, and we'll wrap here. But also one of the bigger stories of the week: Pudgy Penguins. Right? Pudgy Penguins were absolutely on fire. Kinda. It felt like out of nowhere. I don't know if it really was out of nowhere. It feels like it was more on speculation that maybe a token is coming. Was that the reason they ran, guys? I'll just answer it. I think
your guess is as good as mine. I guess so.
Yeah.
That was the rumor.
Like a quick 2x out of nowhere is really strange. And then, over the next few days, there's that talk of this Pudgy coin. Yeah, wild. They went from like 6 ETH up to, I think they touched 11 at some point. And they've come back down to reality a little bit, but they're still 9+ ETH at this point. But what's interesting, one guy dumping, this says 3 Fidenzas. I thought I saw him dump 4 Fidenzas. but ultimately made 400, 500 grand and used that to sweep Pudgy Penguins and Lil Pudgies. To me, that feels like someone who maybe got an insider tip on something coming. Although, do I have this here? We at least have people working for Pudgy Penguin saying there's no token coming. So
That's what I saw yesterday.
yeah, so I think no token, but my prediction, not anything bold, but I think they're going to announce. Well, first off, Overpass, which is their licensing platform. Luca's been really good about not making other people, like not making holders go find the opportunities, which is kind of what Made by Apes does. Like their licensing platform, it's like, hey, we've got a platform. You go make deals. You can make those deals happen though on this platform. Luke, on the other hand, is going and finding deals, licensing NFTs from holders. I think he's maybe going to do something similar, where he'll have the platform for you, but he's also going to have lined up people and maybe businesses who want to use the IP. So I wonder if there's an announcement coming here for Overpass, and then maybe a step deeper. I wonder if he's got well, I know they got a game coming, but I wonder if he's got some kind of animation movie, something like that coming too. So that's my guess for why things are pumping outside of the coin. But man, huge movement over there. Huge. Just God, I don't have the numbers for how much volume they've done this week. They're the only ETH project, I think, in the top 10, though, in the past 24 hours at least. Maybe in the week. It's just them and Bored
Is
Apes.
that because of the one whale sweep though?
Well, not the. So I've been watching it all week long, but just because I have one Lil Pudgy and I flipped in and out of a few. It's a lot of people trading them. You know what? Probably biggest reason is Blur added them to Blend, so now you can take out loans and get in on that degen action. So that's probably the biggest reason for all the actual volume. But let's see here. Top 10. We are back to no Ethereum collections. No Ethereum collections in the top 10. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. Things are just definitely changing here. But Pudgy Penguins, I think, on the week are up there. So yeah, they're the highest ranked Ethereum project, number 7. But that's wild. That's really to me that's wild. But yeah, a lot of price action in Pudgies. Today's their party. So I think if there's an announcement, I do think that comes today. I hope it's big.
Oh, they're having a little holiday party.
Yeah, they got it at Art Basel. So I think a lot of people are expecting an announcement coming from there. And I hope it's good enough. I hope I don't regret holding on to a little Pudgy. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm good.
As we've learned in the past, I don't think holding on to a little Pudgy is a mistake. Let me start by saying that. But post announcements, what do we always see? I wouldn't be surprised to see the floor go down if there is an announcement, or if there's no announcement. I would expect to see the floor go down. So if anyone out there is looking for a Pudgy, I don't think your opportunity is gone. Personally, I think we'll be in this little area for a while.
With that said, I still do think Lil Pudgies could outperform Pudgies, only because I do think a lot of people want exposure to Luca, and you can't really get that at 10 ETH, which is what Pudgies are at. But at 0.95 ETH, you definitely can. And I could see Lil Pudgy. I could see Pudgies being 10 ETH, Lil Pudgies being 2 to 3 ETH. To me, I could see that scenario.
I could see him pulling a Bored Ape Mutant Ape sort of run. I could, if the bull is coming, in fact, they may be the project that pulls that off. I don't see Azuki doing it.
I am definitely hoping. And I'm also, just because I'm trying to either grind out little things or upgrade my Pudgy, I like this guy here. So I'm tempted to just list mine for the floor and grab this. I'm always looking for something a little cooler. Maybe something that if I ever wanted to get really bold and try to do something new, like spin up a business, like something that's more marketable. I love the Pudgy I had originally and that I lost with the black suit and the orange glasses. And I kind of regret getting rid of him. I don't love the guy I got right now, but that guy with the ice cream cone, I feel like there's something you could do there, like Pudgy ice cream. You know what I mean? There's cool branding stuff you can do. I'll show you my current little one.
I do agree with what you said. It's nice to see Luca kind of take the initiative in the sense of including the entire project versus going out on your own. But I wouldn't rely on that with that many holders. The odds of your Pudgy getting picked, I think there's going to be a priority level in the sense of holders. As someone that would have one pudgy or one little pudgy. I wouldn't expect mine to get chosen because I think the art matches up nicely. I expect
Right.
that guy who just sold 3 Fidenzas to sweep the floor, who we don't know who it is. Like maybe that guy, like you said, knew something, and he gets there's just so many things behind the scenes that it's easy to get caught up in maybe this could happen, but the odds of it happening to an individual like ourself, I feel like
very
is
low.
not in the exactly.
Yep.
I
do
agree
think
100%.
Yeah, yep, yeah. I think we're all on the same page then. I think their game is going to go live today. I think that is part of their announcement, from Art Basil's, the party at Art Basel. If it's not today, it's this year still. And so we'll see. I think the game is interesting. That's going to be more accessible to people outside of Web3 because the toys you buy in the stores are what kind of get you into this with those traits that you get that come with each toy. So this is interesting. And then I feel like there was something else Pudgy related, but either way, Pudgy's looking strong. The market looking strong. I mean, the market looking really damn strong, guys. So it's been another fun week. See if we can ride it out for the rest of the year here. See if we carry it through, a majority of the next year too. But I do think we've rounded some kind of corner. So it's been great to watch. Any final thoughts from you guys?
Yep, excited to see what the next week brings.
Yep. Yeah, it's always a fucking adventure, man. It's just wild. You never know what the storyline is. It changes so much. I'm going to skip Jack Butcher. I did have a lot to say about him, but Jack Butcher is always going to be relevant, so we can touch on him next week. I will. At the very least, I'll say this. If you're a Jack Butcher fan and you do collect his art, and if you missed it, Jack Butcher has some sunglasses that have dropped yesterday. This is open for 72 hours. You buy these Oviators NFTs. You can redeem them for a physical pair of these, aviator type Opepin sunglasses. Now, when you redeem your NFT, you actually get an artwork too. So you get your sunglasses, you get a new art. So Jack Butcher effectively has a new collection, and his collections do pretty damn well. So do with that what you will. It's 0.11 ETH, so it's not cheap. But then again, neither are most of Jack's collections. So just putting that out there for you guys. Also, this is on the base blockchain, not on ETH mainnet. Guys, thank you for joining. Like, really, Moisty and Cats, I appreciate you guys coming and chatting like always. I enjoy our Saturday chats. And anyone who happens to still be here watching, thank you for watching along. Love doing these. Love having you guys participating. With that said, tomorrow, back with another 5-minute morning update. I'm going to touch on the market, touch on the happenings, and dare I say my phrase? Do I got to do it? I got to do it. Okay, if it's happening in NFTs, I'm bringing you inside. See you later, guys.
See ya.